neither are you in to live up to mine. I don't owe no one, no obligation. No one owes me none, so everything is fine, fine. I say I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. Serious business. There is a time for everything, and for everything there is a season. So man and man must reason. So I think it's prime time that we address some more issues. Simple information I will use. No rocket science to get you confused. So relax your mind, make sure everything is fine, while I take you down a poetic line. Trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. I remember you say Liberation Day, and I ask, you sure is that you wanna say? Cause you sounded so good to believe. And deception is a powerful thing when you lose your rightful thinking. So we voted for the bling. But you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. Yellow, yellow all the way is what everybody say. Cell phone ring, man answering. Yellow, yellow, no hello. Teeth get yellow, house get yellow, bus get yellow, man get yellow, even green get yellow, and so says 11-4. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. Old school parables say you know what you have, but you don't know what you go get. So cherish what you have to diminish regret. But what on earth lasts forever? Not even things created by the great Jehovah. So the green grass ceased to grow to allow the yellow vibes to flow. But boy, one song I sing, one bell I ring. If we didn't know, we never know yellow would have treated us so. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. They began with the blame game, giving NNP more fame. Past administration, the cause of frustration. Past administration, chief of corruption. Then to economic recession, we can't give you attention. Economic recession, the cause of poverty in the land. Economic recession, no employment for the ordinary man. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. All your projects are stuck in a pipeline, but when asked, how is the country going? Oh, fine. We are looking into it. Never mind. Only projects in pipeline. No water to cool down the yellow temperature. When will they start? Please answer that. Oh, soon. Maybe by the next full moon. Although things are turning at a very slow pace, we now run no race. 5 years is a lot of space. It's just a few hungry people in a place and a few disgruntled green people with their vexed face. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. Busy governing, busy managing, busy politicking, busy neglecting, busy inflicting poverty and hunger throughout Grenada. 1,000 Frenchmen can never be wrong, but you hold your yellow conviction strong. So why not send them advisors home? They're sucking money like water in foam, and rehire the imam.
And a good night to Grenada, Carriacou and Petit Martinique once again. It is time for Talking Points. My name's Sheldon Scott. I'm here with you up until the 10 o'clock hour.
Promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in
As usual, it's always wonderful to be here with you on Talking Points. Yeah, just making sure, my voice is going out properly and all that. Yeah, let me just get a nice little touch. Yeah, I think that song's a little better, ain't it?
Party, and will we vote you without him? You left him with Glenn alone. Maybe they cloned. And however, I foresee a pretensive unity that will mislead a lot just before the...
Let me say a special good night to all of you who are joining us via the World Wide Web. Yeah, those of you on Facebook, let me see who is there. I'm seeing Anne, Jennifer, Shemaine, Maudlin, Jillian, and I'm seeing Jillian with a G and Jillian with a J. Then Brenda, Bernadette, Maria, JC Sherry, good night. Claude, Abraham. Hey, Claude, what's up, man? It's been a while, yeah? Farai, Rasta. Norma, Cynthia, Winnie, Cindy, Jocelyn, I'm seeing Leonard, Yvonne Courtney, good night to you. And Denise, Alexander, Shemaine, Ragbasing. Kishan McSween, good night. Chanel Gary, good night to you. Yolan Moraine, good night. Red Girl Pascal, and of course Linda, Imelda Francois, good night to you. Let me see, I'm seeing Hikda, Mahon, I'm seeing Shoprite Duncan, William Jakim, good night. Diana Romney, Dana Abraham, Denoy, good night, Miguel. Trisha, Marishan, Olive, Wendy, and special good night to all of you joining on the Facebook, and I'm looking for the numbers to go up here. So like, share. Remember, you've got to like and you've got to share. You've got to like it and share it. Once you like it, share it. All right. And let me see over on the YouTube. Oswald Wilfred, Antoine, good night to you. Nursey, Nika, good night to you. Oswald, and seeing April, Londell, Jillian, Doreen, Anastasia, Gertrude, Abraham, special good night to you. Dave, Shenron, Janice, Agnes, Carol, Alan Jones, Lystra, Abraham, Gemma, good night to you. Stephanie, John, Eliza, Angie, Deborah, good night. Faithlyn Haley, good night to you. Michelle Alexander, special good night. Christine, Jackie, let me see. Gloria Francis, Kathleen Ledlow, good night to you. Matthew Boyne out there in Brooklyn, in the big BK, good night to you. Let me see, there's Jillian here, Cynthia, Jacinta, Deborah, Kathleen. Shoma, where? I ain't find I see your name there, no Shoma. Where tonight? Pastor, good night to you, and Lona, and April, good night to you, Kevin. All right, all of you out there on the YouTube, a special good night to you. My good friend Kathy Albert, good night to you. Let me once again say happy. See, I take my time and I say my big happy birthday to Kathy yesterday. Kathy didn't even hear when I said the happy birthday to her. I hope she went back and listened and found it, but I did say happy birthday to Kathy Albert yesterday. That's one of our main supporters, Nice, beautiful. Let me just get this back here. Beautiful.
This is not politics. Please don't.
Tati, good night. Public notice. And Cousin Koi, good night to you.
Not qualified as yet, but have no fear. I'm gonna get there.
We've got quite a lot to speak about tonight. Let's see the numbers going up. I'm seeing the numbers going up on the YouTube and on the Facebook. Just tell a friend to tell a friend.
Neither are you in to live up to mine. I don't owe no one, no obligation. No one owes me none, so everything is fine, fine. I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. Serious business. There is a time for everything, and for everything there is a season. So man and man must reason. So I think it's prime time that we address some more issues. Simple information I will use. No rocket science to get you confused. So relax your mind, make sure everything is fine while I take you down a poetic line. Trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain. You now refrain. I remember you say Liberation Day, and I ask, you sure is that you wanna say? Cause you sounded so good to believe. And deception is a powerful thing when you lose your rightful thinking. So we voted for the bling. But you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain. You now refrain. Yellow, yellow.
Miss, a special night to you, Miss Cammy. Hope you're having a wonderful one.
Man answering yellow, yellow, no hello. Teeth get yellow, house gets yellow, bus gets yellow.
Just waiting for the numbers to pass a certain figure for me to start, because as I said, we've got a lot to talk about. It's already 12 minutes after 8.
We won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll...
Some people might have to, wait until the program done and go back and listen, yeah.
Old school parables say you know what you have, but you don't know what you go get. So cherish what you have to diminish regret. But what on earth lasts forever? Not even things created by the great Jehovah. So the green grass ceased to grow to allow the yellow vibes to flow. But boy, one song I sing, one bell I ring. If we didn't know, we never know yellow would have treat us so. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited.
Yeah, Miss Helen Marie, good night.
You lose the strain, but you now refrain. You now refrain. They began with the blame game, giving any...
Yeah, so there was a press conference today, because we just tell them do the press conference. So they did a post-cabinet press conference today, and they made several announcements. They made some diplomatic announcements. Yeah, those are very interesting, yeah?
Economic recession, the cause of poverty in the land. Economic recession, no employment for the ordinary man. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain.
Cousin Ira, good night to you. Cousin Margaret, a special good night to you and the husband. I know both all you listening tonight. So a special good night to both of you.
We are looking into it.
My good friend in Willis, who I saw today, I'm trying to remember the name, if it's Angie or Ali or so, it's slipping me right now. My good friend in Willis that I saw on St. John Street today, a special good night to you and the family out there in Willis, yeah?
Although things are turning at a very slow pace, we now run no race. 5 years is a lot of space. It's just a few hungry people in a place and a few disgruntled grim people with their vexed face.
All the street side vendors, a special good night to you. And bus drivers, a special good night to you all. My good partner Rex is on. Rex, you listening, man? Yeah, the fastest way between town and Grenville. Rex.
Busy neglecting, busy inflicting poverty and hunger throughout Grenada.
So I said diplomatic appointments were made today. Let me see if I could find a list, though.
Convictions.
A list hasn't been officially sent out, which I find strange. If you do something like that, I would expect that you follow it up with an official list, but I haven't seen an official list coming out from the government of Grenada saying these are the diplomatic appointments.
Campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain. You now refrain. So we've heard about your internal division, but some can't digest that one. Remember the man say he's an asset to the party? And will we vote you without him? You left him with Glenn alone. Maybe they cloned. And however, I foresee a pretensive unity that will mislead a lot just before the next ballot. But you guys will have to come real good.
Yeah, so let me just run over. I think I have a list here. Let me just see. So in China, Grenada is going to be represented by Mr. Ian Marshall. I know Ian, pretty good guy. Yeah, supported by Miss Trisha Bettel, intelligent young lady. I know her. I think she hails from the island of Petit Martinique. She has studied in China. I know she studied diplomacy in China. So a good addition to the team over there. No, we're not the NDC. We don't come here and just run remote on people and say things and things like that. I know Mr. Ian Marshall. And I know Miss Trisha better. I do have a problem with them getting a diplomatic appointment to represent Grenada. I think they're two intelligent young people, and I wish them all the best. I hope that they do well in their new portfolio to represent you and I in China, the people of Grenada. Nice? Wonderful. Belgium and the permanent mission to the European Union, they have Mr. Rafael Joseph, supported by Simba St. Bernard. London, Loney Bartholomew. USA, Mexico, and Canada. I'm seeing Mr. Tally Francis. I know Mr. Tally Francis used to work with the bank and so in the banking sector, in it. Assisted by Dr. Wendell Cornwall. Cuba, Mr. Glenn Noel, assisted by Mrs. Sabrina Dumont. Venezuela, Colombia, and Panama, Mr. Hassan Hadid continues on from his bid before as the ambassador. He continues there. United Nations, we have Shea Phillip, assisted by Miss Narissa Williams. Then we have a global health ambassador. Let me see. We have a global health ambassador in the person of Dr. Trevor Lane, and I think we have some more. We have a special envoy on the creative economy, Mr. Orlando Romain. Special envoy on investments and development, Miss Andrea St. Bernard. In New York at the consulate there's Mr. Michael Brizan. I can't say that I know him. So, Trinidad, Mr. Elwin McQuilkin, the Black Wizard. In Toronto, Mr. Jerry Hopkin, no stranger to this field. And in Dubai, you have Mr. Zia Rahman. So make of that what you will. Make of that what you will. Those are the diplomatic appointments as made. Yeah, those are the diplomatic appointments as made by the government of Grenada and as announced by the Minister of Foreign Affairs today.
There is a time for everything, and for everything there is a season. So man and man must reason. So I think...
Oh, you think I don't have comments on it? Yeah, I have a lot of comments to make on it.
Rocket science to get you confused. So relax your mind, make sure everything is fine while I take you down a poetic line.
My first comment that I'm going to make is this. I thought that when we heard the NDC campaigning, that they campaigned to the young people of this country, they campaigned to the youth of Grenada, that they would be given the opportunities. They would be given the opportunities and the platform for young people to become involved at all levels of governance. All levels of governance. So when I see a list like this and I realize that a lot of these people are retirees. Yeah? A lot of these people are retirees. And then you have the Minister of Foreign Affairs stands up in a press conference, makes a statement, but remember, he ain't come back to answer questions. Poor Roxy, he sent the permanent secretary to go and answer questions because he know if he stand up there, questions could come to him as deputy political leader of the NDC because nothing is wrong with him answering those questions. When the New National Party used to have post-cabinet press briefings, questions of a political nature were asked of the members there. If you had your political leader, prime minister, if you had your deputy leader, you had your chairman or whatever, political questions were asked and were answered because it was an opportunity for the media to speak to the individual ministers. This one, you realize the ministers hiding. So they want to say that, yes, we were able to come out and we had a press conference, and they're saying we doesn't have press conference and we had a press conference, but they refusing to answer questions. A question was asked about a particular issue. And you realize the press secretary says, no, well, today, how the hell you mean today is that? No, there's the minister. The media, the people of Grenada ask a question. They have a responsibility to respond to the people. If they don't have the answer, all they simply have to do is say, hello, we don't have the answer. We will get back to you. We will get back to you with the answer. My office will research and we will get back to you. Right? If you have the answer, nothing should be stopping you from giving it to the Grenadian people. Reason being, if there's a reason that you're trying not to give it to the Grenadian people, then the media needs to dig deeper in when the questions are asked and they're refusing to answer it. How dare you say that's not the issue of anyone? It's online, it's on YouTube, and it's on Facebook. Go back and look at press conferences that the New National Party administration had. And questions were asked by the media in relation to political things. Questions were asked by the media even in relation to private things. And all were responded to. If you don't have an answer, you say you don't have an answer. But you don't tell the people at the press conference in dealing with that issue. Your responsibility, Madam Press Secretary, is to provide information on behalf of the government of Grenada to the people of Grenada through the media. That's why you're called the press secretary. You're the attaché, the person that passes information out to the people of Grenada. So you can't be telling people that is not a topic up for discussion. The deputy political leader of the party was there. A cabinet minister was sitting there. If he says he doesn't know enough about it because it's not under his portfolio is one thing, but he sits in cabinet where these issues are discussed. So he could say, I think the question was in relation to the Marketing and National Importing Board. I could say, I don't know. You can't say you don't know, but you could say that is not to be discussed here. So when will it be discussed? Because you all have a habit of not having press conferences. So when the media finally gets an opportunity to ask questions, they're going to utilize it to ask questions on various issues. We know that's why you all hired the Prime Minister 2 weeks ago. We know that's why you all did not have the press conference that you all were going to have a couple weeks ago. You can't restrict the media and tell them. They want to restrict the media from asking questions. Oh, you have 2 questions. And if when we go wrong, you have another 2, then you could ask another 2 questions and that sort of thing. You can't restrict the media from asking questions about national issues. You have a responsibility to provide the answers to the people of Grenada when questioned on national issues. You are the government of Grenada, and therefore you have a responsibility to provide that information. Yeah? So it was very, very upsetting to me when the question was asked and we were told, oh, we're not discussing. What the hell you mean you're not discussing that tonight? Who is you? Where you come out? That's we business. We want to know what's going on. Because, ladies and gentlemen, many of you may not know, but the Marketing and National Importing Board has been wound up. Well, you may know that part, but now the government is asking all of the creditors of the Marketing and National Importing Board to take a haircut, and a haircut of 50%. Let me get the actual document here, and yeah, really had to change my glasses soon. Right. I'll read what was sent out yesterday in relation to the Marketing and National Importing Board, and tell me if you don't think this is something important that the media should have been getting an answer in relation to. Government launches comprehensive debt restructuring for the Marketing and National Importing Board. As a direct result of the prolonged poor operational and financial performance of the Marketing and National Importing Board, the Cabinet of Grenada approved the dissolution of the entity, including the assumption of all secured and unsecured liabilities of the Marketing and National Importing Board. The government is therefore seeking to undertake a comprehensive and collaborative restructuring of MNIB debts by the end of May 2023. This includes the repayment or refinancing of these debts on terms and conditions that are consistent with the government's fiscal space. In light of the foregoing, the government is offering a 50% haircut on the outstanding claims to all secured and unsecured creditors. The Marketing and National Importing Board of Directors has provided a list of all outstanding Marketing and National Importing Board debts to the Ministry of Finance. During the month of April, the Ministry of Finance will seek to verify all debts owed by the entity. All creditors are therefore requested to submit evidence of claims to the following email address: mnibdissolution@gov.gd on or before April 30th, 2023. The Ministry of Finance thanks all relevant stakeholders for their kind cooperation in this regard and look forward to a speedy conclusion of this exercise. And that's what the question was in relation to. If you're asking everybody that Marketing Board owes, basically what they're saying here is that government has closed up Marketing Board, they're dissolving it, the actual dissolution now, because there has to be an act passed through Parliament to do that. So they're heading in that direction now. So they are saying that here, we would like all of the people that we owe to forego, to give up half of the money that we have for them and only take half. And that's both the, how did they put it? All the secured and unsecured creditors. Yeah, so everybody that is owed by marketing board and you have money inside there, they're saying to you, so that includes the farmers, as far as I could understand this, and probably if the question was answered today at the postcab, I would have a clearer understanding of it. But my understanding at this juncture is that you're saying to all of the people that are owed by the Marketing and National Importing Board, you could only get 50%, half of your money. It was all kind of bravado when they was talking about closing it down and we will assume all the indebtedness of the Marketing and National Importing Board and don't worry, we have funds put aside for it, and now you're asking for 50% haircut. In really, bravado is one thing, you know. Making us at our whole talk about, yeah, we have money, we go pay it, and we go close down, and we could do it this way, and we could do it that way, and all. That's one thing. But actually doing it is another thing. Totally, you have to be sure. You have to be sure of what you're saying before you go out there and say it. So they were out there about all the bravado. We're going to close it and we have the money and we're going to do this and we're going to do that and so on, and it's a drain on the public purse. We all can understand those things. We can understand those aspects of it. We don't have a problem with that. We can understand that. But here it is now. You're asking all of the people who are owed by the Marketing and National Importing Board to take a haircut. Folks, I have to take a very, very short musical break and I'll play something for you. I know all you want to hear, you know. Let me find it for you. I'll play something for you while I'm running out just to do one thing. I have to step out of the studio. I'll be right back.
Manipulating night, like change, get too heavy, like change, it want to kill somebody. There are some fellas that run in the country and like they think really cannot see. When you want them for something, man, they think they don't tell you. I want to ball, I feel to cry. Sometimes I wonder why. Think about it, I will see you tomorrow. Think about it, I will check you later. Think about it, man, that is the answer. Think about it, they want me to break a place. What am I dealing with, huh? My country in pain. Oh, yo, yo. Like it's only for people that feel in the pain. Aye, aye, aye.
Yes, folks, so I'm back.
That getting bad. Like it change. Man, now is crime on the double.
You know how it goes.
Then you can get him rebel.
So I'm telling you, yeah, they're saying to all of the people owed by the Marketing and National Importing Board, take a 50% haircut. Now, in financial circles, there's nothing new. There's nothing strange about it. But I am saying that based on their statements before they started the process of wrapping up the Marketing and National Importing Board, you would have thought that they had the money to pay the people. What about the agro-processors, the people who provide different services to the Marketing and National Importing Board, who have a look of $4,000 and $5,000 inside the hotel? Them take two. These are small producers. And you're saying it across the board. I would have thought that some of those that go over a certain threshold, you may have attempted to say, well, okay, instead of the 5 million we have for you, could you give us a haircut of half of that? At least you're going to get back your money. Or can you forego the interest? If it's a bank or a lending institution, can you forego the interest and give us a percent? I could understand that. But when it comes to the small producers, when it comes to the people that was selling the sugar cake and fudge at the Marketing and National Importing Board outlets, when it comes to the people that have other locally made items, agro-processors that have items that were being sold at the Marketing and National Importing Board and are owed a little 10,000, 5,000 and that kind of thing. You're going and ask these people who already put their money into it to take a half? Come on, man, seriously. Really and truly. The farmers who was depending on that money, who were hit with this closure, who might have a bill inside for 6,000 that they really need because they need to get planting material, they need to take care of themselves and their family, and they also need to put a little something away because we know the thing rough, as according to Kelly, things bad. So we know that situation. So you're telling me that you're going and ask these farmers, these agro-processors, to take a 50%? Really and truly? That's where we at right now? That we're going to be asking these agro-processors and these other people to take a 50% haircut? No, that is why I think the question was being asked, because you're looking for clarity on the issue. And when you don't provide clarity on the issue, you leave us in the position where we have to believe that this is what you're attempting to do. That the little people that you owe for the little cakes and whatever it is that they make and they sell and sold through Marketing Board, the people who had the sea moss and the spices and so that was selling through there, that are owed, are you going to tell these people now, the $4,000 we have for you? Because remember, they have no more coming anytime soon because you're in the process of restructuring. You ain't taking more stuff from them. So that market that was making that bit of money, no, that's closed. So they have nothing coming down the road. And the little bit that you have for them, you're still going and tell them, take half alone? Nah, man, come on. We have to be serious about this. If you're asking for the 50%, I could understand you go to the lending institutions and you negotiate with them and you say, please give us a 50% haircut. I could understand that. Some of the other larger creditors like the Petro-Carib and so on, I could understand when you ask them to take a 50% haircut. When it comes to these small producers, these people who are the small producers, I can't agree with that. Serious, really and truly, I could never agree with that. I don't think that is fair to them. I do not believe that that is fair to them. And if that is not the case, you see, that's the thing. They leave a lot of things out there, and then when you speak, they come to say, oh, you're bad mind, or you're just saying things, and all of that. That's not the case. We are asking questions. You all are not answering anything. So we're asking the questions. Are you going to be asking these farmers? Are you going to be asking these small producers? Are you going to be asking these people to take a 50% haircut on the little bit of money that they have inside and that they need? I don't even have a problem that they gave them a deadline. I understand procedure. So you said, okay, we want to do this by May, by the 30th of April. All your documentation is supposed to be inside so that we can start processing the payments and so if you have sent an invoice or so, maybe you could send a copy of the invoice to us. I could understand that. Or you go to the email. I could understand you go to the email address and you send what you have to send. I could understand all that. What I can't understand is for you, the little people there, to ask them to take the same 50% haircut that multi-million-dollar companies you're asking them to take too. You cannot treat the small man. You cannot treat the small producer. You cannot treat the poor people, the farmers. You cannot treat them in the same way that you want to treat the big businessman and the big companies, the big financial companies and entities. That is wrong. That is my view in relation to it. That is wrong. If that is so, and I'm saying if that is so, and honestly from what I've read, I believe that is so because you said all of the secured and unsecured. You said all. You didn't say some. You didn't say a few. You didn't say a percentage of. It said all the secured and unsecured. So we expect that means all of these small producers too. And if you were people that used to think about poor people, that used to think about what they are going through on a daily basis and how they are fighting right now to keep their businesses alive, if you were thinking about them, instead of going up in the countryside and suck cocoa, you would have known that you can't cut 50% from these people in the same way you want to cut 50% from the commercial banks in Grenada and regional entities and Petrocarib and wherever else that the Marketing and National Importing Board owes. Nobody is saying that you're doing the wrong thing, but you can't do it that way. You can't do it to the poor and vulnerable people. You have to think about what they are going through. I know some of these agro-processors who are depending on that money. That money spent and they ain't get yet. Now you're telling them to gain half of it. A lot of these people, these farmers and these agro-processors who are owed by the Marketing and National Importing Board and other people who are owed by the Marketing and National Importing Board, as it is right now, many of them, the money that is owed by Marketing Board, since Marketing Board was wrapped up and they were told that the debts would be handled soon and all of that, that money already spent, you know. That money already earmarked. By the time it reached in their hand, it's gone. So with all of that in consideration, I'm saying to the government, rethink that 50% haircut thing, especially for people under a specific threshold. If you want to say for anybody under 50,000 or under 20,000 or whatever, but put a specific threshold and say the people under this level, that these people we're going to give them back. We're going to give them their full money. Yeah? Please. Don't do that to those people and them. That's, for me, that is unfair. Yeah? That is really unfair.
They say when you don't have good food, you must
440-7377. That's the number you can call, and you can call.
2020.
You can call us on WhatsApp and you can call us directly. Shakira, good night to you, my love.
Let's go. There is no place in the world.
So how you expect to treat a person that you owe $2,000 in the same way that you treat a person that you owe $2 million? You can't treat the two the same way. The economic means of the person that you owe $2 million, they might have $300 million sit down there, you know. So to tell them to take $1 million instead of taking $2 million mightn't be nothing for them. They might say, well, okay, it's better than you say you're bankrupt and ain't pay us nothing at all. Or we end up getting just 100,000 instead of $1 million. But for the person with the $2,000, you cannot treat that person the same way that you treat the person with the $2 million. You can't treat them the same way, no.
Expectations were too high.
You see, these people operate like if they're not dealing with human beings. They're dealing just with numbers. They don't understand emotion. They don't understand the economic stress that a lot of people are under. And that economic stress is causing a lot of emotional and mental stress as well. They don't understand that. So it's just 50% haircut across the board.
Slowly, but she don't mind once it's NDC killing she say we had enough under Claudius. So
and as I said, nothing is wrong with asking institutions that are owed to take a haircut. Nothing is wrong with that. Yeah? But it is the people at a specific level or the organizations at a certain level that should be asked that. The smaller producers should not be facing the same problem. So you're telling me he has $6,000 for a farmer. He has been bringing his produce in and you have sold his produce and you owe this farmer $6,000. And you're going to tell this farmer, take $3,000? Is that really fair to that farmer? After he already listen, the man have bills to pay. The man have children that he have to take care of. The man have things that he have to take care of. And he ain't have 6 million sit down there. So you can't treat him in the same way as a company that has assets worth 300 million, 200 million, and $1 billion. You can't treat him in the same way.
They're crying with their mouths closed. How they do that, only God knows. They're afraid to talk your supporters on the attack when they say is that. A man told me as a strong foot soldier.
I don't think I've forgotten about the diplomatic appointments. You know, I'm coming back to that in a while, yeah.
Them hear what they go say. You was wearing a green jersey one Sunday. I'm a strong supporter of the transformation agenda. It could be done with minimal errors, but tribalism and partisan politics messed up the Congress genetics. Mr. PM, you must stick to your promises. A lot of people voted you on these premises. How could you fool big people so with pension, permanent, and no money galore?
Now, let me give you a joke now. It's not a joke, because this is serious business, huh?
Becomes so.
As I say, I'm coming back to the diplomatic appointments. I ain't leaving that alone. I have a lot to say on that.
Remember, you are Grenada, Jesus. You promise
Parliament has been postponed. There will be no parliament tomorrow.
the opposite.
Yeah, we gave them a tongue lashing last night, and I know maybe it fall in the right pot because a release was sent out today that Parliament that ought to be sitting tomorrow to pass the data protection bill has been postponed. Yeah, the release I want to see, me, Sheldon Scott, the release I want to see from them is the release that says they have pulled the data protection bill from the order paper and that they are having consultations in relation to it. I ain't gonna feel comfortable until I see that.
Lose the one
And not just that they pull it and they have consultations, and no fake consultations to just pull it. You call one or two people like they try with the Media Association. Yeah, I don't know how Gerald Joseph and them could allow themselves. If I'm not calling him a lot, yes, I'm calling him out. I don't know how he and the rest of the Media Association executive could allow themselves to be called in by the Prime Minister and lectured about this bill. I can't understand how they could allow themselves to allow that to happen. Did they even check with their legal representative to find out from a legal person how that bill affects a media practitioner? Did they even check with one before they went and sit down with the Prime Minister?
woman told them
Did they gather questions from the media fraternity in relation to it? But no, you, Mr. Gerald Joseph, and the rest of the media fraternity that was there went and sit down with him to go and discuss bill.
can't wait for the new MNIB. Farmers' money go be tall like coconut tree. They say people get too much a pension.
So yeah, we, you and I, who make them postpone Parliament tomorrow, they could claim whatever they want to claim. We make them stop it.
There's one mathematician. I told my partner to bring back
Because we know what they was going to try. They did not want Senator the Honorable Nolan Cox to talk. So they wait till the President of the Senate out and call the Parliament sit-in. If we didn't expose that to you all, they was going right ahead with it and do like it's something that just happened. But it's a part of a wider plan. It's part of a wider plan. So they had the Parliament sitting on a day. Look, if you go on the internet today, the only thing people talking about is intercall, innit? Everybody was glued to television today watching intercall. Everybody was following intercall today, whether it's on GBN or whatever stations. They've been following intercall today. Those who have the pay-per-view, who are outside of Grenada, they're following intercall. So, and tomorrow, as we just say, is real action day because that is day 2. So you know it's real action tomorrow. So they were putting Parliament on the same day with that. Not to clash, but to hide it behind intercall. That's what they were doing. And then on top of that, they still did it at a point in time that they know the President of the Senate is out, so that the Deputy President of the Senate, Mr. Nolan Cox, Senator Nolan Cox, would have had to sit in the President's chair, and therefore he could not have made any pronouncements on the bill. All he had to do is call on the others and maintain order. So the only person that would have been able to speak on the NNP side there would have been Senator the Honorable Nealon Franklin. We made them put it off because we explained to you last night the wickedness they're trying. We explained the tactics and the trick that they're trying, and now they had to pull it. We make them do it. Pat on yourself on the back. We have a caller on the line. Good night.
Good night, sir. How you doing?
Hey, I'm good, man.
Good night, Talking Points crew, everybody on the inside. Happy belated birthday to Miss Cathy. Oh God, Miss Cathy, you there?
Yes, she did, man. I see her there.
All right, so here I go, Mr. Shelana. Nothing wrong with the bill going on in a bowl, the senator of the. My question is, I want to see who will vote the Labour Commission, the Labour senator, the business senator, and on what side. And honorable Nolan Cox is a man, he's well known and he's well learned. And he's a senator. So he will do what is organized in the House, and he will have the House organized in the Senate. Yes, sir.
But they're not having the Senate sitting tomorrow. They postpone it. They put it off.
Yeah.
We made them put it off. They had to put it off.
Well, I ain't saying we made them put nothing. They put it off.
I saying we make them put it off. I say it.
Have to.
If you don't want to say that, your business. We make them put it off.
No. I ain't saying we they're gonna put it off. All I want to know is where is that man in New York or Washington DC? That's all I'm saying. The doctor of journalism. Have a good night, Sheldon.
All right, thank you. 440-7377. That's the number for you to call and get on to the inside. 440-7377. For those of you outside of Grenada, you can call 347-329-3101. That's 347-329-3101. That's for the overseas callers. Huh?
To build the party, now they treating him real bad.
So Parliament, we have made them postpone it. Yes, we do it. Yeah? It happened because of us and not in spite of us. Unlike things that has happened with them in spite of them and not because of them. This, I can't remember the Latin term for it, you know. Yeah, there's a Latin term for that. It's just slipping me right now. My Latin getting rusty. One of my Latin speakers out there, please let me know. Yeah, there's a term for it when things happen in spite of and not because of. Yeah.
Again, an MP may be the one. Now condoms get so cheap, man could buy a whole heap. But to buy
I know, yeah, they're talking about diplomatic appointments. So here now, I have a question, and I'm just sorry that I saw the Zoom link so late that I couldn't have joined into the postcab. Yeah? Because apart from that, I kind of went into town to do some business, and I forgot my mobile at home this morning. I didn't get it until this afternoon. But yeah, I want to know if Mr. Orlando Romaine, yes, Orlando Romaine, I want to know if he is no longer an advisor and he's now just an envoy. I want to know if he's receiving one salary or two. Because already, this chap is in about 3 boards in senior positions, so he's receiving 3 stipends from 3 boards. Right? That's one thing. I understand that. I've been on multiple boards myself. Yeah, not receiving the kind of money them receiving. But I've been on multiple boards. I understand that one. But while he's on multiple boards, he also holds a position as an advisor to the government of Grenada. And I believe it's under the creative arts and that kind of thing. Isn't he? Because we've asked for the list. Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell has twice asked for the list of advisors, where they attach and their salaries. And for some strange reason, the Deacon Mitchell administration, the Ministry of Finance, refuses to provide to you, the Grenadian people, what the salary of people like Miss Andrea St. Bernard, the treasurer of the NDC, and Mr. Orlando Romaine, the public relation officer of the NDC, are receiving as advisors to the government of Grenada. Yeah? And apart from that, I would like to know if the new position that they have been announced in, if they are no longer carrying out the duties and being paid on the old position. I want to know, in other words, if you're paying them big money 2 times for 2 different set of jobs. Because we know that you all sent out a list when we asked for the list of the advisors and of the people who were, what they call them before, transition leads. I'll tell you what transitions is. You know, transitions is death news on GBN. That is what transitions is. Yeah, they're talking about transition, and transformation. Transitions is death news on GBN. Yeah? That is what it is. If you go on GBN at certain times, you'll see transitions. Death news. So they had transition leads. They had people who was leading the death news. But they're refusing to tell you how much they are paying advisors right now. You, the Grenadian people, your leader of the opposition has twice asked for that information, and twice the Ministry of Finance has refused to provide that information. They have sent an incomplete list. Twice they have sent it, and twice you have had that situation where they refuse to answer those questions. They don't want you to know how much people like the NDC PRO and the NDC Treasurer are being paid on a monthly basis. But I could tell you, I'm pretty sure it's not under $5,000 a month. And now, if you've also given them the red passport, we know a lot of them like the red passport. Eh? Yeah. They like the red passport, boy. Yeah, man. Yeah. Traveling style. Nice. Yeah. So, these individuals, a question I believe the media needed to ask, a question I believe that we need an answer to, is if these individuals, and I'm singling out these individuals, Miss Andrea St. Bernard, because I think she was another position either as an advisor or something within the Prime Minister's office. She holds some position, I believe, within the Prime Minister's office that she is being paid for by you, the Grenadian taxpayer, right? So I want to know if this next position, she is doing it without payment. There's a particular term for that. Somebody hit me the term on my WhatsApp. There's a particular term for that. So I want to know if they are doing this one without pay. And if they're doing it without pay, what benefits are attached to that? Yeah? So I know, for instance, if they are diplomatic representatives, then they ought to be carrying diplomatic passports, which gives them, no, believe me, diplomatic passports don't give a person all of the things that you think they give you. I'm not here to try and twist things. Yeah, some people feel you have a diplomatic passport, you could go in the next country and commit a crime and they can't do it. Nonsense. If you are accredited to that country, then there's a certain level of diplomatic immunity. But just having a diplomatic passport and passing through another country, unless you are accredited to that country, in other words, unless you are working there on behalf of the government of Grenada, they have accepted you, then you don't have no diplomatic immunity. Yeah? So understand how a diplomatic passport really works. But I'm saying that these are pro bono. That's it. Thank you so very much. I know somebody on the WhatsApp would never fail me. Pro bono. I want to know. And the media, you all need to ask that question, because I know many media practitioners listen to this program religiously on a nightly basis. We need to know if these two individuals are doing this pro bono. You could call on Shaggy in the morning and call my name all you want, or you could go to hell, I ain't care. Right? Asking the questions. Right? So we want to know if the PRO of the NDC is receiving a set of thousands of dollars, because we still don't know. They refuse to say how much he's receiving as an advisor. They also refuse to say how much Miss Andrea St. Bernard is getting for her position as an advisor or whatever she is within the Prime Minister's ministry. They refuse to say that. We need to know how much they are being paid and if they are doing any of these jobs pro bono. Next thing they're doing, everything they're doing pro bono, they're not being paid. I would be the first to praise them. The very first to stand up on a crate in the middle of town and praise both of them for doing national duty without taking a cent. I would not have a problem doing that. But the Prime Minister, as Minister of Finance, the Ministry of Finance, which means the Permanent Secretary has a responsibility to ensure those questions are answered, have already on 2 occasions refused to answer those questions. Let's go to the phone line. Hello, good night.
Sheldon, you got a big mouth.
I know. Thank you so very much, my friend, and you'll be hearing it for a very long time.
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm very good, my brother. How you doing?
I'm all right. But you got a big mouth, though.
Yeah, man. So what's the latest now, anyway? Man, gone enough. Yeah. So we need to know. We need to know. As I said, that information has been hidden. That information has been hidden. So we need to know. We need to know. And we'll continue to ask that question. They've sent Black Wizard down to trade that up? Okay. But when you heard the minister speaking in relation to the appointments, he did say, at that point in time, he did say that they were getting people who want to make a career out of diplomacy. Didn't he say that? Didn't it? That the people that they're recruiting, he said it today, and he said it at several other meetings over the last couple months or so, that the people that they are recruiting to become the diplomatic corps representing Grenada out there, that these people, right, that these people are people that they're training to become career diplomats. All you know the age of some of these people that they're talking about to become career diplomats? Some of these people that they mentioned, they are over the age of 60. But they're speaking about they're recruiting these people to become career diplomats. You're recruiting Mr. Tally Francis to become a career diplomat? What's the age of Mr. Tally Francis? How long would he have a career as a diplomat? And there are other people there that their ages are over 60 or close to 60. So it could never be a situation that you are bringing people in and you're giving them these positions because you're trying to give them a career. I could understand for Mr. Ian Marshall. I could point out him. I could understand for him. I could understand for Mr. Shabetel. The rest of them, yeah, are some issues in between there. Yeah? How can you think that that is okay and nobody ain't going to say nothing about it? That you make this diplomatic appointment, you're the government of Grenada, nobody ain't say that you can't make these appointments. But let me ask a question. Where is the appointment for CARICOM and the OECS? Where's that appointment? Because I heard a list there. I didn't hear anybody mention for CARICOM and the OECS. We have a call online. Good night.
Hey, Shalom.
Hi.
Once again. He's trying to cover you.
I haven't heard you.
All right, so let me get this thing on pause. The thing is, right. So let them go on. You continue doing the honesty. You understand? And what they are angry with, let me deal with Miss Claudia Joseph in the COVID time, right?
And I'll come to that. Don't switch the topic. I'll come to that. Don't switch the topic on me. We're dealing with something now. Let me deal with what we're dealing with. Don't switch the topic.
Right.
We go deal with China timing.
Them attacking you, I have your back.
Attacking me? No, they're attacking the self, brother.
You understand?
I know my mouth big, so telling me my mouth big ain't gonna do me nothing. I know my mouth big.
Yeah.
That's stating a fact.
But on a serious note, tomorrow Tuesday. Well, today is what? Wednesday. Well, Tuesday. Well, Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
The bill. When the men passing that bill, they will pass it in. Let me get that thing organized and let me go to the street because they will pass it in.
Well, they could pass it in. They have the numbers in the house of the Senate. They have the numbers to pass the bill. They have enough people there that they will pass it. And I really don't think, especially after I hear the diplomatic appointments today, I ain't think the business senator will be voting against anything that the NDC put forward. So that's just my view, Right. I ain't think that he will be voting against anything that the NDC put forward. Right. But there are other avenues, my brother. There are other avenues. So let her pass it. Go ahead, pass it if they want to pass it.
So this is
that's not the end of it.
This is my point. So the senator, the three on our side, the Senate Deputy President, who is our boy, you know, we on the side. You know what I'm saying?
All right, my brother.
Let us know what we're doing and let us know what we're getting ourselves into.
Well, the present, as you mentioned, the present Attorney General. The present Attorney General has told us what to do in situations like this. Yeah. She has told us. She has said when something unconstitutional is about to be passed, the actions that you take, you know the government would still have the numbers to pass it, but there are actions that you can take once it's passed. So, she has said what to do. If we do it, it's only by her own words.
Very much so. Very much so. Let it go.
All right, my brother.
What I'm saying, brother, we will sit down and wait, and we are wait to see what is going to come. And what I'm saying to all the talking point people in them, have a good night. We are on the inside. And Cathy, have a beautiful body part.
All right, my brother. Yes, indeed. 4407377. That's the number you can call and get on to the inside. I had to do a whole program on Carriacou. I keep telling all that it coming in. I also want to find out something. Today is the 28th day of, the 28th day of March 2023. And thus far, there are some individuals who have not received their pension payments since December 2022. Let me say that again. Today is the 28th day of March 2023. And there are some people who have not received their pension payments since December 15, 2022. We want to know what's going on with that. Because some of these people have been asked to bring in their life certificates. Now, your life certificate is a document that you have to provide ever so often to the government to ensure that they know that this individual is still alive. All right, so it has to be signed by a senior police officer, a priest, or a medical doctor. Those kind of people, they have to sign that form, and the form is brought in. The other information they collect on it, and it's brought in, and it verifies that person A or person B is still alive, and therefore pension payment should still be made to this person. There are individuals who brought in their forms, and up to now, they have not received their pension for this month, last month, the month before that, January. They have not received pension payments for 2022 thus far. And there's another situation with some people who are getting their pension payments, but they are getting them late. I'm talking about sometimes nearly a full week and some after the end of the month. And remember, pensioners supposed to be paid first. You have seed and pension payments are the first two payments that are made by the government of Grenada, and then salaries of public workers. So they usually pay pensioners before they pay public workers, and the seed people, they pay them. So the seed pensioners, and then after that, you pay public workers. We have a situation where many of the people who should be receiving their pension payments are not receiving it on time. One of these days I say, on call. Man, I wish I could have called the name of one of the people and them that are in that situation. 4407377. That's the number for you to call and get onto the inside.
Country, you don't see us down by the brewery when they send SSU to between. Trick us with campaign promises. We won't say a tease, that's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain. But you now refrain, So we've heard about your internal division, but some can't digest that one. Remember the man say he's an asset to the party? And will we vote you without him? You left him with Glenn alone. Maybe they cloned. And however, I foresee a pretensive unity that...
Yes, and I see one of the listeners is asking, wasn't Miss Andrea St. Bernard in charge of CES? Yes, she was in charge of CES.
You think politician would trick us with campaign promises?
I don't know if she still has anything to do with CES, so that's a question again, if she's still working along with CES. I don't know, yeah?
Refrain. You remember in the Bible, God had a plan for Judah.
But stranger, yeah, the treasurer of the NDC is given a diplomatic passport to travel, maybe the United States and other places. The treasurer of the NDC, you understand what I'm saying, right? The treasurer of the NDC is given a diplomatic passport, so yeah, under some kind of thing. Under what was he? Where's the portfolio to get him again? Let's go to the phone line. We will come back to that. Hello. Good night, caller.
Good night.
Good night.
Sheldon, good night.
Good night, my brother.
In public. Sheldon, I want to, first of all, well, I hear plenty people giving you all kind of talk, and irrespective to that, you're taking it with a grace and with a pinch of salt.
Me? They're giving talk?
Some who like, some who don't like. But it's because of people like you, your program, and the program, another radio station in St. Patrick's, that the government had to listen. They had to listen to the lawyers. They had to listen to a number of people who was voicing the opinion that they should not pass that bill until they have fruitful discussions with the people of our country, with the people of who it is going to affect. But we all know what is the main intent of the bill. And I don't want to go into the nitty-gritties. But, Sheldon, it is imperative for us as citizens of Grenada, when we hear the kind of disrespect from our leaders, political leaders, prime minister of our country, and others around, like Senator Joseph, who is now the GG, or the Governor General, well, not Governor General, no. I forgot she post already. But the one responsible that the bill is in her name.
Attorney General.
Attorney General. Thank you very much.
Yes, the bill is in her name.
This kind of disrespect to the intellect of our country is unbecoming. It is not good that youngsters who want to develop a career to listen to the kind of speeches and the kind of saying that the Honorable Minister of Attorney General makes when asked questions. It is simple, a lash in the face, blow to the Grenadian people. And before I leave, I want to make one more point. Sheldon, when I hear how our announcement for people that hold ambassador's post, yes, there is one youngster, Che Philip, yes, Che Philip. He's a very young man. Maybe he has good intention. He may want to make a life in that area.
Yeah, some of the appointments I don't have a problem with, like Che. I mean, you can't have a problem with a young person, but some of them, I mean, these people and them is retirees. I mean, come on.
Okay. You know, I was just mentioning that aspect of it, you know.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what they're going to say? They have young ministers in government. So they bring in senior personnel as ambassadors who has knowledge or who intend to have knowledge about ambassadorial posts throughout the world. So they're going to give these elderly people the privilege to hold ambassadorial posts in outside country to represent Grenada, Carriacou, and Peter Martinique. Now, but don't make this statement about we're going to give them a career who wants to be ambassadors to our country. Don't say that. Use another term that we bring a little experience. And I'm correcting those terms that they use. Please, Grenadians are no fool. If you cannot govern a country so that Grenada will benefit from what you do, then kindly ask and kindly tell the nation that you are not in a position to help to develop Grenada, Carriacou, and Peter Martinique. And take your leave and say thanks very much for the few months that you have served. Thank you very much, Sheldon.
All right, my brother. Thank you. And I think the possibilities, I think we have another call. Let me just clear the box. No, we don't have. Yeah, 440-7377. That's the number for you to call and get on. Or you could say some kind of thing on this live, 440-7377. That's the number for you to call and get on to the inside. It's now 11 minutes after the hour of 9 o'clock on the Spice Isle of Grenada. And you know what? Yeah, as Antonito talk about it, let's hear what the now Attorney General, whose signature as Attorney General is affixed to the bill, the Data Protection Bill that is before Parliament right now, that has not yet been withdrawn. You know what they're going to wait to do, They're going to withdraw that bill Wait, somebody come in real late, but now here in that pro bono part. They are going to wait until very late on Friday night or Thursday night to announce that they're withdrawing the bill. They're going to wait until then, or even on Saturday, to announce that they're withdrawing that bill. We have a call online. Good night.
Hey, good night, Sheldon.
Hey, bro, what's this in?
Hey, just quiet, man.
Nice, lovely, lovely, lovely. You go right ahead, man.
Hey, Sheldon, my thing is that, the work you're doing and others are doing, my word of encouragement is to keep on strong and just be honest, tell the truth, and keep doing what you're doing. And I could see the effectiveness of it. It is shaking some people. It is already straightening this country out already. Bringing the country, getting people conscious of what is going on. Your information, Sheldon, are very excellent. And they are doing well to a lot of people. People are now being informed. People have a clear knowledge of what's going on. And they're getting the story on the other side. The NDCs, on the other hand, they stepping up their attack. They're attacking wild. They're attacking you. They're attacking people like me who they hear their voice on the radio, and they just intend to wildly attack. But we are not intimidated. I am not intimidated either. We are going to continue to expose them, their lies. We are going to continue to bring across their hidden agenda to the people. And my encouragement to you, Sheldon, keep doing what you're doing and stay blessed.
All right. Thank you very much, my brother. Yes, indeed. 440-7377. That's the number to call and get on to the inside. Yeah, these are the same people. These people who are speaking now are the same people who just appointed these people here now. There are people that said that, hey, we want to give young people the opportunity. That the people that have been appointed are going to be career. That's what they're going to be making their career. You can't tell me some of these people and them. So these people in their 60s, you can't tell me what career they're going to make. We have a caller. Good night.
Good night, Mr. Scott.
Hey, how you doing, sir?
I'm alright for the time being.
All right, you go right ahead. You're live.
Yeah. Now, when you spoke about the piece of news that the government gave this evening concerning the marketing board, I was kind of taken back and I said, I want that properly explained for me tomorrow, please God. But you have explained almost in the same way I thought. Because I find this hard that the government said that they're taking over marketing board debt. And the Prime Minister said it was $15.1 million. Government responsible for it. Now you're asking the people to take half of that. So and they said that they owe the farmers $2-something million. So you owe farmers $2-something million. You're asking the farmers to take half of that. I think that is extra hard because the impression that we got in the beginning is that the government is going to shoulder all marketing board expense, all the bills. Now you're asking the farmers to drop, the farmers and other persons to drop part of the bill. I don't really understand that. Because the thing is, you give the impression that a new entity will be set up and everything will be all right. In the first case, you give the impression that you was not going to close down marketing board. When I attended the meeting that he had in Goa, and he did not indicate it to us that he closing down. For that matter, the chairman, who is Mr. Andal, said up to the time that the meetings was going on and whatnot after that he did not realize that there was a closing down because he was the chairman of the marketing board at the time. For that matter, he resigned. So I don't know. Something seems to be twisting me, telling me that we get another twist up. Then again, the Prime Minister met with the what you call these people again, the
producers,
deal with news.
Or the Media Association, the Media Workers
the
Association.
Right? And up to this, the association have not told the public what the meeting is about. What arrangement they came with the because they was talking about the bill. And I heard the president of the union, of the saying that they was not satisfied with the bill. The president of
the Bar Association.
Of the association made it clear that he was not satisfied. Now you meet with the prime minister and you have not tell the nation. So we don't know if they seems to be in bed with the government too. And I don't have a problem if you like you support the government.
They're
but
wearing matching pajamas
something is wrong. You should tell us what come out of it. So we've seen a lot of play up. And as you said, the questions that have been asked by the opposition, and it is not been answered. So we're going to be in a lot of rigmarole when this parliament really sits.
Mr. Bridgman,
because they're not answering the question.
Here's another problem. Not only are they not answering the question, if the data protection bill is passed, it also means that there would be criminal liability on behalf of any public worker that provides the information that the NNP is asking for, that the opposition leader is asking for in the public interest. If anybody within the public service were to pass that information and be found, that person could find themselves facing criminal charges. So in other words, they're locking it down all direction. They don't want nobody know.
I find the Media Association should be educating us more. Because, look, they had press conference today. I didn't even realize that. The media have to do better than that. And the media should not. I don't mind the media praising the government when they do things that is right. But the media should not be taking side. The union should not be taking side. Come out when you have to give them blows, you give them blows. When they do something that is right, give them the right. Because I hear about a lot of things that the government is talking about and thinking of that, in my opinion, is good. Mm-hmm. And I want to support what is good.
But let me read something here for you, Cliff, as you're on. Now, in that press release, there's a particular statement that I think all of us should look at very carefully. The second paragraph says, the shouldering of these responsibilities creates significant or additional unforeseen potential debt for the central government. What do they mean unforeseen? They knew before they wrapped up Marketing and National Importing Board how much money was owed by the Marketing and National Importing Board, so it can't be additional unforeseen potential debt. It's not potential debt.
I was kind of worried.
They've wrapped it up
now because you give us all the assurance that the government can take care of the debt that is owed by Marketing Board, and now you come telling us to give a haircut. And I mean, anybody, if I was somebody and I could ask the person to take out a little piece and what I owe them, I'll be glad to do that.
Yeah.
So I'm not against government, but I'm saying we seem to be going on in a circle. Mm-hmm. We seem to be going on in a circle, and the questions are not being answered. And I'm worried over that. Because the media, who is supposed to guide us, who's supposed to get those questions and guide us, we don't even know. We don't know him.
Instead of
something is wrong. Something is not going on well.
Instead of that, is secret talk with
the ambassadors. When I saw some of the people face, there are no problem with who they elect as ambassadors. I don't have much in it. As my partner, Elwin McKilkin, become an ambassador. I wish him all the best. He's my good friend. We grew up together. I have no problem with that. But I wonder why you send home everybody that was selected. You call home them, and some of them you told them that you would not have shifted them. No, but based on the slate that I hear there, everybody that was under the NMP as ambassadors are being removed. That again is a little bit worried, because the impression you gave is that you were not going to be removing all of them. That was what was said. And
I don't think they can fault the work of, for instance, Miss our head of commission, High Commissioner out there in London, Miss Oh boy, her name is slipping me right now. Keisha Grant.
Yeah.
Alexander Grant. I don't think they can fault the work that she has done over there. And if you're speaking about career, that's that's her area, that's her speciality and so on. They can't fault her work, but they've decided that they're going to put somebody else there.
Yeah,
Also in, is it Washington? There's this young lady that's there as well. Her name is slipping me right now, but she...
The other lady from Guelph,
Yeah.
St. John, Roseanne, she was in Dubai or somewhere this place, eh?
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's kind of confusing because the reasoning that they're giving for the appointments are totally different to what they've actually done with the appointments.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
But all I'm saying too is that they've given the treasurer of the NDC a diplomatic passport. They can't sue me for that, it's true. They give the treasurer of the NDC a diplomatic passport. When I say that, I say all.
Well, Terry Moore, you tell her how to play. Because Terry was crying when they and with all the crying, Terry was crying. You forget to tell the people the NMP the NDC took away the passport from him. You know?
Well, that's a fact.
Yeah, he never said that, you know.
I think I
all
still
the
have
cry
the
he was
newspaper.
saying that the parents didn't give him the passport and didn't help his wife when she was sick. He forget that the passport was taken from him by the NDC government. You know, I'm feeling that we're not making the move that we're supposed to make. You know, I'm not satisfied at the things I'm making. And next thing is
Yolan Smith. That's the name. Thank you, Kathy. Yolan Smith. She was doing an excellent job. Excellent job.
Right.
And she was based out there in Washington, D.C. Yes, Roses has messaged me the same information as well. Yeah. Yolan Smith. She was doing an excellent job out there. And now they've decided to send somebody else. So.
And next thing that we have to look at very close to is this minimum wage, you know.
Well, I know that they are
minimum wage
putting a committee
have
together.
to come in effect next year by January, they say. And I heard Ms. Claudette say that she asked the committee to go broad in their search. Now, when you go broad, it means that you're taking in everybody, farmers, domestic servants, carpenters, security guard, everybody. Now, when you raise these people pay, which they deserve more than anything, when you raise these people pay, and the economy is not doing very well, what is going to happen to the agriculture? In other words, agriculture, the road workers get $40 a day, $45 a day. No. And I don't have no problem with they getting much more. But when you raise agricultural worker pay to $50, how are you selling those commodities now so that the farmer could make money to pay that prices? They need more than that, twice them more. But how are you going to pay the farmers? We see minimum wage. That means you're moving every sector persons upwards, and they deserve it. But again, you have to look at the price of your produce. Because if the produce can't pay, then it means that if the same man with the land wouldn't be able to work the land. And that has to be heavily taken into consideration. So when you tell him broad, when you tell the committee, go broad, take a wide scope of people, that means you're involving everybody that need an increase, and people need the increase. How are you going to treat with the economy moving? That's something that we have to look at. And I'm saying that the agricultural workers and other personnel road workers, they deserve much more. But you have to pattern, you have to build it on your economy, which is highly important.
Okay.
Any farmer can sell what he produces. How you go pay over $40 and over $50?
Clifford, as I have you,
should pay more than that.
As I have you on the line right now, let me just say something here. I was actually looking for a clip that I have in relation to that, because I was kind of saving it for another program, but for some reason I don't seem to have it on my system here. Probably it's on the system home. Are you aware that the government is saying that when it comes to marijuana, that they are not for the recreational use of marijuana, but for medicinal purposes?
personally heard that from the minister.
But that wasn't what they tell them youths on the block.
Yeah.
That's not what they went out there and they told all those pro-marijuana people out there. They basically said to them, we legalizing the thing. Legalizing it mean that everybody would be able to smoke.
Yeah.
And now they started to change their language now to not for recreational, but only for medicinal. So for people who are caught with marijuana and they don't have their medical certificate to prove that they've gotten it for medicinal purposes, they will have a problem. Yeah? So that's what they've been pushing. That's
for that matter, the minister
I think they've changed the conversation in relation to it once again.
Exactly. Mr. Thomas personally said that the first estate they're going to try marijuana on is Granby Estate. But in Granby they send home more than half of the staff.
That's
right?
interesting.
And you had other things, and with all of that, Granby was cultivated with other things. So then you have to destroy this crop now. If you go, because you don't have much of empty lands in Granby. Granby is about 200 acres, 100 and something acres. So if you're going to go in for marijuana, you want at least more than 100 acres for marijuana. So if you say that the first estate, and you have other crops planted, and you send home the workers, I see that as a setback already.
All right, Clifford. Thank you so very much for your call, brother.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Yes, indeed. 440-7377. Yeah, we're going to talk about that marijuana thing. No, I'm not for, against anything. Yeah, people going to decide. I think the Grenadian people will decide. I know in the United States, generally what they do on an issue like that is that they put it on the ballot, actually, you know. Yeah, they ask people to decide, and if they get a certain percentage of people saying yes, legalize it, or no, don't legalize it, then, you know, they put things like this on the ballot and they allow people to decide. So I'm neither here nor there on the discussion. I just think that to be locking up and spending all the resources that are being spent to lock up young men and have them sitting in prison and all kind of thing for a spliff or two, I don't think it makes any sense. I think that the state spends more money on dealing with somebody for one spliff than than is reasonable, because even if you charge the person the money that they pay, still can't cover the amount of money for the state for the process of arresting, detaining, charging, and then bringing that person to court, and then you ask them to pay a couple $100. That can't cover the entire thing. So I believe that that needs to be relooked and so on. But I'm saying here that what the government was saying, what the NDC was saying, now that they are government, they have changed it. Yeah, their words have been changed. You remember in Animal Farm, those of you that remember Animal Farm, remember they went and they write at the side of the barn. And then the animals went to sleep, and when they wake up, the writing change, you know. Yeah, they write the rules. And while the animals slept, they changed the rules. So right now we're hearing other things when it comes to that particular issue. We have a call online. Good night.
Hello, good night, Senator Sheldon.
Yes, Senator Sheldon, at a stay call. Go right ahead, brother.
Something that really I'm worried about is the fact that the government has they're closing the bus terminal at 8 o'clock. Intercall is going on. These youths they finish the sports, now they're looking for transportation to go home, and there's no transport. And they're putting them in a really compromising position to look for rides and so on.
You're saying that's a situation that went on tonight?
No situation. It's just.
Oh, you mean it's a possibility? Okay, yes, I understand.
Yeah. So I just let me point that out to you.
Well, and it's a good observation, because I know even on my way here tonight to do the program, I did see a couple students stand up in a dark spot waiting on transportation.
Yeah, they're all over looking for transport. There's no transport in the bus terminal, and probably hiking rides and so on. So it's a concern to me. And yeah. I think that they should have noticed that, and they should at least have extended the hours during intercall as to accommodate these school children getting home and stuff like that.
And, you know, the argument is going to be used that the students ought to be out of town by a particular time anyway, that intercall is supposed to be over by a particular time. But the counter to that argument is you're speaking about a choke point in that you have all the secondary students, well, not all, but the majority of secondary school students from around the island in one location, everybody trying to get buses to get out of town at the same time. So even if it finishes at, let's say, 7 o'clock or close to 7, or if it finishes after 6, then maybe all of them might be able to get out of town by 8, but you still have the stragglers. I see it as a problem. I do see it as a problem, and it is something that the management of the terminal, instead of telling people about pull your table in and all this kind of thing, that's what they should be focused on. Things like this. I agree with you. I agree with you, caller. It's something I didn't pick up on, and I'm glad that you have picked up and exposed that.
Okay, so have a pleasant night.
Thank you so very much. You see, I tell all of the class of listeners and callers to this program different. You understand? My friend in Willis, yeah, you understand? It's a different kind of thing that going on here. Because that is a valid, very valid concern. I can tell you that tomorrow we could imagine the volume of students that are going to be on that terminal. And then the same thing on Thursday. You know that is a big day. On Thursday, wow. We have a call online. Good night.
Sheldon, good night.
No, because we say the
good
terminal.
Night, Sheldon. Well, I mean,
everybody asking where they.
I'm trying to get you to say good night.
Well, I don't know. Everybody asking.
I'm trying to get what one. I know I just called 2 and 3 times sometimes when people not calling.
Call.
But you know, everybody, because if you have some callers that just there and they're going on and going on. Miss Louise, good night in Marigot. Good night. And I'm glad this man, this caller I just called, I'm glad he bring up that about the bus terminal and the children. And the management in the terminal, whoever they can manage the terminal. I want all of them inside the office. They cannot manage the terminal. They can manage the bus terminal. They get a position now, and they think they flap in the wings. They can't handle it. They can't handle the job. And I want them to know tonight, as the man bring up that point, all like Mr. Haywood, Mr. Lord, Mr. Belfon, all these guys at birthday, they used to have a hard time handling it. Even the one they give them now as the commissioner, acting commissioner of police. Can't handle the terminal. First time I hear the history. You closing a bus terminal at 8 o'clock. I want the lady inside that is the big hog. And you can't do me nothing, because I'm afraid none of you. You closing a bus terminal at 8 o'clock. You're affecting the operators, the busmen, the people that have the boot like me and the others, vendors. All you are affecting everybody. I don't know. You can handle Grenada. Give up the damn work. From the Prime Minister, go down. Give it up. All you cannot handle Grenada. People hungry. People need jobs. Give up the job. We appreciate that. We don't appreciate that. All this stuff find poor people. All this stuff, and I don't know the ministers, you know. I think the only person I know is Claudette and Andal. Mm-hmm. And the little fresh one by Bologna. No apology. Ron, you could never call me no time again you see me. Anytime you see me, Mr. Ron, rather than you call me bad word I giving you. Real bad word. All little disrespectful. All you very disrespectful to the Grenadian people. I hear the Prime Minister of this country say, Dick Mitchell say, that is the old people that build this country. And look what you're doing to the poor people. Why Miss Jacob? Why didn't give Miss Jacob a phone in the home that she could call she friends just to hear the voice? Or they don't like old people. I hope while you stay young forever, you know. I hope the 9 of y'all inside it stay young forever. When you have Papa God ready for all you. Don't say nobody get you over, you know. Because when things have to go wrong in all your life, all you say people get you over. the wrong thing that you are doing to the Grenadian people. When are you will get it? What? The long list of one end. And the long list forever, amen. And are you hurting a lot of people? You are hurting a lot of Grenadians. And you have some NDC supporters. I just look at them. I just hear them in the ears. They're rejoicing. They're rejoicing of what's going on in this country. Wait. Police officers. Them police and them, they don't care now. They're skelter, according to Clifford, or you just use that word, they're skelter. People have respect for the police. They don't have respect. The police and them, they're tired. Because all the years they're working, not a thing on their shoulder. They don't give them one stripe. And up to this day, they don't tell us who is the commissioner of police. Up to this day. So I don't know what's going on in Grenada. And I'll just sit back, some of y'all sit back in America and England and calling and telling Sheldon he more big. Come in Grenada and tell him he more big. Don't Saudi.
No, they're
because
here.
You're not living here.
They're here.
You're not
they're
feeling
right here.
You're not feeling nothing in Grenada. All these are ungrateful people. After all, what the energy government did for Grenada, you don't have the respect to say thanks for the road in Boulder to come out in Busheju. Or you have the courtesy to say thank you to Mr. Dr. Mitchell. Thank you. Even if you don't like him, say thanks. He had that contract and build houses and help poor people and give people bathroom and toilet. Or they don't start to work yet. But it's damn good for some of y'all. I'm sorry, you know. I've seen trouble right now, but I don't sorry for you. God didn't vote for NDC. I am very grateful for people like Mr. Roland Bain, Horsford, Peter David, Dr. Mitchell, and others that helped me when I was in a hole. They lift me up to make me who I am today. I'm very grateful. I will never be ungrateful to them. Never. If I'm going to be ungrateful to them, I've seen God to take me away. And a lot of you are ungrateful. Are you ungrateful? A lot of you are in this country. And I don't see nothing yet. That's just the smoke. Have a good night, Sheldon.
All right, Kiame. Yes, all you finally get her. Everyone was asking where Kami. I know I passed by Kami, so I know she was taking a rest. Right? But everybody was asking where Kami. Watch Facebook light up one time as soon as you reach, you know. We must hear Miss Kami. Hey, I don't understand all you. Nice 440-7377. But before I go any further, I think you all need to hear. Yeah, you know, you just have to remind them of what they say when they say all kind of thing. So I think you all need to hear the then. Oh boy, let me take the call before I go. Take the call. Let me take the call first. Yeah, and then I'll play that one. Hello, good night.
Hi, good night.
Good night, my dear. You're live. Go right ahead.
Okay, listen. Since sometime in November, I've been noticing going into town. Even around the end of the month. And town is so dead. On the eve, Christmas Eve, the eve before Christmas, the day before, whatever they call it. I went to town and I said, wait, isn't this the Christmas season? Today, I was in a meeting and a business person from the town area was saying in that meeting that businessmen are complaining. They expected things to be slow during the January month. But February and March has come and people are crying. Oh, there isn't even people walking the streets of St. George's now, it seems to me. They said they were speaking to a businessman today. They went across to that person's place to buy something. And the person said to them, this is their first sale for the day. And it was after lunchtime. So what's really going on in our country? Mm-hmm. Have a good day, Mr. Scott.
Thank you very much. Listen, I've spoken to a businessman, and he has a store, right? And there's some days that he coming out from there, he barely make $100. Yeah, barely. make $100 for the day. Right? Just making sure the phone lines are clear. Folks, I'm going to play this one for you. What the caller is saying is true. I'm in town nearly every day, and I see it for myself. Yeah, imagine you're going into town on a Friday and you pass by a bar or something, and usually there are lots of people and the place ram, and you're seeing people biting. No, not now. You realize that the number of people at liming in these places has gone down significantly. And right now, the 28th, you know it's a new National Party government, but the 27th you get your money already, so they'd have been paid since yesterday. Well, I've seen some people messaging me saying they didn't get paid yet, but anyway, let's hear what the present Attorney General, who is the signatory to the bill that's there now, had to say when she was in opposition. You know, every time I go to play that, somebody call. Every time I go to play that, somebody call. So let me take this call and then I'll play it. Then I'll stop and take call and play it. I'll take this call. Hello, good night. Oops, wrong one. Hello, good night. Hello. 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 All right. It seems as though we may have, it seems as though we may have lost that caller. So let me just get, so let me just play this one. I want you to hear what she had to say.
Point well taken. Given the construct of the Grenada Point well taken. Given the construct of the Grenada Parliament, this goes to Parliament on Wednesday of this week, right? Is that what I was told?
Yes, it does.
If this is passed, and this, what recourse do you have as the main opposition party?
Well, in addition to the protest action, we have already engaged lawyers with a view to challenging this bill in court, because we think it is constitutionally invalid. And we all know what our constitution says at section 106. It's the supreme law of the land. Any law that is passed that is inconsistent with it is void to the extent of the inconsistency. So we are prepared to take this matter to the courts. But we are protesting, hoping and expecting our government to listen to the voice of the people and pull back this unnecessary, unconstitutional and draconian bit of legislation.
So yes, folks, you've heard there what she was saying. She find that bill, and she was speaking there in relation to the COVID bill, the COVID-19 bill back in 2020, and she was saying that the bill unconstitutional, and they having their protest action. Yeah, she was up there, she pedal push and thing during the protest action. Yeah. And that a lot of them who was protesting. A lot of them was protesting. You had some that call themselves youth for whatever. They were protesting. They were up there and they're protesting. I hear them protesting people constitutional rights right now. So people don't have are they saying that we don't have constitutional rights right now? I ain't hearing them. We have a caller online. Good night.
Sharon, thanks for playing that.
Yeah, you have to play it
for me, because I heard somebody said today I have a lot of stress, but I heard a lady come by me and tell me if I didn't hear she said that. But I'm glad, and you know one thing, I'm glad, Mr. Scott. I'm glad that you all is letting us know. Some of us know what is going on in Grenada. Because some Grenadians that said everything is well with us in Grenada. You know how much money I make today? You know how much money I can make today? $50. And I thank all the supporters that pass and support me and buy a lollipop and a water. I thank them. Under the NNP government, Sheldon, I used to go with like $300 and hide something to pay me water bill and pay me rent. And everybody on the terminal. So fine, I have to encourage the people that that chicken continue fry, because that's what they're doing for their living. And you know something what hurting me? That hurting me, Sharon. These girls and them, Sharon and them that selling it fried chicken. That is all they're doing to survive. And management in the so-called management they have there. No. These girls and them, that is all they're doing. They're making a fish sandwich. And they find the little juice. And you give them a lesson and tell them they cannot fry. All you fry, they come fry them and all. And make up my And the lady that called before, you play the clip and talk about the business people. They're not making no money.
No, they're saying
The
it, Cammy.
Indians telling me they're not making money on this.
They've told me that.
Me. One of them asking me what's going on. I said, keep praying. Just keep praying. Or you took bad mind.
One particular business person asked me. He asked me if I think the NDC will make the year because he don't think he business good.
I will suffer for that.
Tell me, not sure his business can make it.
Are you going to suffer? I am not asking God to forgive all for that. Or to suffer for people in Grenada. Or to suffer in Grenada. Because somehow you are getting what are you getting now. And say it's we time now. And I'm calling on Mr. Deacon Mitchell as the Prime Minister of this country. Mr. Deacon Mitchell, change your mindset, sir. Because you have to live in Grenada. And you have children, they say, I don't know. Stop doing that to the Grenadian people. I'm begging you. Stop doing this thing while you're doing that to the Grenadian people. Remember the same people that put on they go take all you down. And now they won't go down nice. Stop doing that to the Grenadian people. You're punishing us. Because we vote for NNP, but wait, time will tell. Time will tell, sir. And I know you're listening. My name is Camille Teresa Scott. If you want to put me in jail, put me in jail. Because I remember that they put Tillman in jail. And he still come out and be a Prime Minister of Grenada. So I will put me in jail for speaking. But I will continue speaking. I will continue speaking for my right in this country. I'm suffering, and a lot of people suffering. You are not making money. Prostitution and the rise in this country. All you want people to do? What all you want people to do when some fathers go home and the children crying? You lead them to go and rob people? That's all you want. Shalom, good night to you.
Good night, Cammy.
And I know they get the message. I know they get the message. And you can put on your foot in Kit Mitchell's shoes. And you could say, what are you want about Claudius Mitchell? That is a man for the poor people. That is a man that cares. He cares for the poor people of this country. Good night, Grenada.
All right, Cammy. Yes, indeed. 440. Let me just clear it. 440-7377. That's the number for you to call and get onto the inside. What's going on with my WhatsApp calls? I find, something I'm working to right on my WhatsApp ends, and I had to double check that one and see what's going on with the WhatsApp calls. We have a caller. Good night.
Hello.
Good night, my dear. How are you?
Hey, is that Sheldon?
Yes, you're live, my dear. Go right ahead.
Yeah. Jimmy Cliff said, time will always...
Yes.
Sheldon, I walk in town today. I go to electricity company to pay my bill. I walk straight on the counter. Today is the 28th of the month. I go to Nawasa, the same thing. I go to Flo, the same thing. Just walk and come out. I never meet something so in Grenada. And the next thing is crime will be on the rise in Grenada. Because when you have no jobs and people look left, right, front, and center, they have nowhere to go and nowhere to turn to. We'll have a lot of crime in our hand. I don't want it to happen, but that is what Grenada heading for now. I met a man by Cable and Wire, by Grand Lake, and he stand up there with his hand, and he tell me he's looking for something to do. He's about 60 years. He say he get the NIC. And he say he's looking for something to do. And he say he can't get anything to do. He say he have nothing to eat. Sheldon, I take out $10 out of my wallet, and I give it to that man. Thank you.
All right, my dear. Oh, boy. And that's the kind of stories that we continually hear. And that's why from our end, we have our donation part. It's to help with situations like that. Remember, we have to, and we have not been able to, for a little while, assist our kidney patient. We need to be able to assist from time to time. Those of you that do pass and leave a little something by Cammy, he does get that's there. He does, every now and again, they would pass and collect that and so. But we need to continue assisting if we can. We know it's difficult for everybody, but if you can. That's why I say even if it's as little as $5 that you can give, if 100 of us give $5, at least we'll be able to help him get a treatment or so on. So if we can help, like that. All right. Sometimes I do the program and I forget to mention it, but it is something that we need to always keep in mind. Folks, I want to play for you what on the narrative when Mr. Derek Sylvester was being questioned by Ms. Kalisha Faria. Kalisha being one of the people that met with the Prime Minister as a part of the delegation from the Media Workers Association, and the only member of the Media Workers Association to speak on about that meeting, because the Media Workers Association has not sent out a release. They have not informed their members of the meeting up until when the release was sent out last week Friday, because you had people who are members of the Media Workers Association, they know nothing about that meeting. All right? So let's hear what she had to say about when they met with the Prime Minister and the question that was asked.
Now, the Media Association, we met with the Prime Minister last week to convey some of the concerns that we had with the bill. And one of the questions I asked him was whether or not the bill would hold, for instance, that someone, a data user, gets the data from the data subject and pass it to me and I use it. Am I also liable under this act? And he said it was something that he hadn't thought about. What's your take on that scenario there, having read the bill?
Well, I'll be very honest with you. I'll not be in a position to comment on that aspect of it. If the Prime Minister would have tabled it in Parliament, is not in a position to speak on it, on that aspect of it, it tells you that the bill is in need of some review.
Yes, indeed, folks. So even the Prime Minister couldn't answer questions when Kalisha asked him about the bill. He couldn't answer. But yet still they're saying, pass it, go ahead with it, that kind of thing. Now remember, this same bill has been sent to other countries. They look at it. Some countries take out the sections that we're having problems with here in Grenada. Some change different aspects of it and so. Yeah? Because they keep saying it's an NNP bill. I said, no, it's an OECS bill. It was sent out by the OECS. It was sent since the NDC before this NDC. Yeah? So it's not an NNP bill. Don't know where they get that absolute nonsense from. Yeah, it's one of the bits of e-legislation that included things like e-transactions, electronic crimes, and there was a few of them. There was about 4 or 5 electronic-related bills that came. There was one that legalized the fact that you could sign something online, and that is now a legal document, because technically that was not a legal document before that. So now you can sign something online, digitally, and that is a legal document. It can be accepted legally and that sort of thing, and that you could use electronic evidence, all that sort of thing. All of these were a suite of legislation that were passed. The data processing was part of it, but because there were issues with it, you held that back. Yeah? And we all know over the period of time, you had different things that came up. You have other legislation that you're dealing with from time to time, and that would come up, bounce back, different things like that. They've decided to bring it forward. Yes, no one is saying that you do not need a data processing bill. Nobody is saying that. Nobody is saying that the bill generally, the intent of the bill from the creators of the bill was not a genuine one. We are saying that there are things inside there that can be used by disingenuous people to create circumstances for political victimization. There are sections in there that can be used for political victimization. We have taken the time on this program. We have showed you the sections that we find to be the offending sections. We have explained our perception of those sections. Yeah? You've heard from Mr. Derek Sylvester. You've heard from Mr. Ruggles Ferguson. You've heard from Dr. Francis Alexis. My goodness, you've even heard from George Worm in relation to this bill. Meanwhile, Media Workers Association have nothing to say. But you've heard from all these different individuals and organizations, the Bar Association, in relation to this. Strange though, that all those who were jumping up on the bandwagon during COVID time about constitutional rights, isn't it strange that all of them are very, very quiet right now? Isn't it strange that they seem to have lost their voice under the National Democratic Congress? All of those who was the placard wearing t-shirt put on, going in front of the parliament, waving bill must stop people. All of a sudden, they've lost their voice. So we're not hearing from Ms. Sandra Ferguson and seeing articles about the constitutional rights of we the people. You're not seeing that on the internet or in the newspapers. You're not seeing these people deciding that we're going to protest against the bill and so on. And if anybody who was involved with them speaks about protesting the bill, all of a sudden that is the worst person. They have the worst things to say about that person. We have a call online. Good night.
Good night. How are you?
I'm quite fine. Go right ahead. You're live.
Union leaders and them representative hunting in Grenada.
Well, that's an interesting question, and it's one that we have to delve in. It's a very interesting question.
But all union leaders look going in the toilet because I don't understand.
Because
I mean, you're having them saying nothing. I mean, people talking about tongue naked, tongue have nobody. They make them Indian vote NDC, and them Indian cussing their own self now. You want to deal with crying every day. Every time he pass by me, say, oh son, things bad. They're crying. After they make them vote NDC, telling them things will be better. Now they're balling murder. It's a sin to do people them kind of thing. But God, according to Kami, God is good. God is sleeping, you know.
Of course.
God ain't sleeping at all. The longest they have on it. And I believe they're setting up credit. And if he's setting up credit, I hope she watches her.
Well, I've got other things to play with her. Don't worry, it's coming.
I hope she watches her. Although she's saying since she going to school, Keith is a kleptomaniac. But I mean, but they're setting out. They go throw down. Something going wrong there. Anyhow, have a good night.
All right, thank you very much, caller. Yes, indeed. And I wonder if we might be able to take one more quick call before we wrap. Yeah, let me try to take one quick call before we wrap up. Good night. Hello.
Hello, good night.
Hi, good night, caller. Go right ahead. You're live.
What's up, man? What's up?
Hey, my friend, I'm good, man.
Well, I kind of these days, I'm not matching up at the time. You know, I have other things that I'll be out doing. You know. Anyhow,
I know what season it is, so I fully understand, my friend. Iftar is very important.
Yes. It is okay for a minister to walk into a private sector, like construction and stuff like that.
Well, if they're invited or if they're checking on it, I don't see anything too wrong with that. But what was the purpose? That's the important question. What was the purpose?
Was it something like a Facebook moment, in a sense?
Well, were they wearing a hard hat? Were they following the rules?
No, not yet, because it's on Facebook. I mean, what was there? What it was there in the making? I mean, what is something just walking into a private sector project? I mean, despite that you're a minister.
Boss, well, I've seen them playing marbles, dominoes, and sucking cocoa, so that is nothing new. Just now go see them playing hopscotch.
No, I mean, let's respect everything, not because you hold a position, you walk into something that's, you know, let it go if there is anything, a concern of matter, anything of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
But it's near completion, and there you are just walking to, I don't know, the pictures were taken, and there you go on Facebook, what it is all about.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I understand.
You know, it's a matter of concern. I mean, somebody can just, even if you have your private home, somebody just walked into your place, it's a matter of concern.
Of course.
Not because, but come on. I mean, you just cannot do something like this.
Yes, my friend. My friend, it's 10. Time for me to finish. I have to run tonight.
You know,
but you must keep in contact with your boy.
You see certain things, you know.
You must keep in contact with your boy.
All right.
All right, my friend. But I understand what's going on with you. I know very well. All right. Thanks very much. Yes, indeed. Okay, friends, that's all the time we have for Talking Points tonight. It has been wonderful being here with you. My good friend in Tong who meet me today and tell me you want back your time. Boss, you will get back your time. You wouldn't get it tonight, but I'm going to make sure that you get back your time, right? I'll give you all back the half hour that or so that I take. Yeah, I'll give you back the time. All right, folks? So that's all the time we have for Talking Points tonight. It's been wonderful being here with you in everything you say and everything you do. Keep it safe and secure. Want to be speaking to and with you and not about you. Love each and every one of you. My name is Sheldon Scott. Looking forward to tomorrow night, Wednesday night. More Talking Points from 8 p.m. All right? we have a date. But just remember, when you go, the businessmen singing this song too, you know, yeah.
Somebody, yeah, some fellas that run in the country and like they think really cannot see. When you want them for something, man, this thing they don't tell you. I want to ball, I feel to cry. Sometimes I wonder why. Think about it, I will see you tomorrow. Think about it, I will check you later. Think about it, my that is the answer. Think about it, they want me break